Why did Meghan Markle, once considered a breath of fresh air within the royal family, become such a controversial figure? What happened to the Duchess of Sussex that turned public opinion so sharply against her? Was it solely her transition from an acting career to royalty that ignited such a fierce reaction, or is there something far more complex hidden beneath the surface? At first, Meghan was widely praised for breaking with royal traditions. Many admired her for challenging boundaries that had remained untested for decades, heralding her as a modern version of a royal figure. However, others were quick to criticize her, accusing her of violating long-standing customs and later expressing personal grievances that left many unsettled. So what is it about Meghan Markle that inspires such intense emotions, from awe and admiration to outright contempt? In this discussion, we explore the reasons behind the strong reactions Meghan Markle elicits. We delve into the complex factors fueling this public divide and compile a list of 15 well-known individuals who have openly expressed their disapproval of her. We begin with someone who was once very close to Meghan, a person who believed he was incredibly important in her life, only to later discover that was not entirely the case: her former husband, Trevor Engelson. Imagine the shock if your partner mailed you wedding rings without any explanation. That is essentially what happened when Meghan sent Trevor her engagement and wedding rings by post without a personal conversation or even a telephone call. This bold gesture became one of many stories fueling the never-ending debates surrounding Meghan. According to Andrew Morton in his book titled Meghan, the Hollywood Princess, the way Meghan ended her marriage with Trevor was not only unexpected, but also harsh. After 2 years of marriage, in 2013, while living in Toronto during the filming of the series Suits, Meghan made the decision to return her rings to Trevor by mail. It is difficult to imagine how painful and confusing that must have been for him. Trevor, who was utterly stunned, had known Meghan for almost 10 years, first meeting in 2004 and dating for 6 years before becoming engaged in 2010. Their relationship, once seen as strong and passionate with a promising future, abruptly fell apart when Meghan ended it without any discussion. Sources close to Trevor reveal that even after many years he still experiences anger and betrayal. Although he prefers not to speak publicly about the end of their union, his actions seem to say more. Currently, he is developing a comedy show for the Fox network, which explores the challenges of divorce and centers around a storyline featuring a custody battle with members of the British royal family. Many believe that this show is his way of processing the shock from how suddenly his relationship with Meghan concluded. Could this painful episode be one factor contributing to the negative perception surrounding Meghan? Next in our list is the individual who transformed his dislike for Meghan into a very public crusade: Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan has never hesitated to express his opinions, but when it comes to Meghan Markle, his sentiments appear especially intense. He seems to have made it his personal mission to criticize her at every opportunity. He has labeled her a self-centered fraud, a manipulative attention seeker, and worse. Morgan appears unashamed as he expresses his disdain for her. What exactly about Meghan irks him so deeply? Their story actually began on a surprisingly friendly note. In 2016, Meghan reached out to Piers via Twitter, and a heartfelt online friendship developed between them. At one point, they even met for drinks in London, and it appeared that things were amicable between them. However, everything changed when Meghan met Prince Harry. In that moment, she suddenly severed all communication with Morgan, and from then on, their relationship soured irreparably. Since that break, Piers has accused Meghan of exploiting him and has gone as far as calling her a social climber. On several occasions, he has criticized her, claiming that she befriends people only when it serves to further her ambitions. In 2021, the situation escalated when Morgan was forced to leave the set of the morning program on Britain after facing severe criticism for his scathing remarks about Meghan and for his comments regarding Oprah Winfrey's interview with Prince Harry. In that interview, Meghan opened up about her struggles with mental health and her decision to step back from royal duties. In response, Morgan accused her of lying and selfishly rejecting royal responsibilities. Despite the fallout from that incident, Morgan's barrage of attacks on Meghan did not cease. He continued to condemn everything, from her Netflix documentary to Prince Harry's memoirs, and showed no signs of relenting. Some colleagues, like Alex Beresford, have even suggested that Morgan's bitterness might stem from the fact that Meghan has effectively become a ghost in his life. Morgan, however, insists that his criticisms are purely based on what he perceives as her actions and conduct. Was Morgan justified in his relentless crusade against Meghan, or is it more a reflection of his own personal sense of rejection? It is hard to say for sure, but one thing remains clear. This feud is not likely to end anytime soon. Following that, we examine another public relationship that took a dramatic turn, this time involving someone who had a captivating romance with Meghan in her early days. Corey Vitillo, a talented Canadian chef, dated Meghan even before she became a member of the royal family. Their relationship began in 2014, when Meghan was still working on Suits and living in Toronto. At that time, Corey was already well known in the culinary scene, and the two seemed like an ideal pair. Meghan would often sing Corey's praises in her now-defunct blog, The Tick, calling him her favorite chef. They lived together in Toronto, sharing a cozy home and seemingly building a future together. However, as Meghan's career began to accelerate, everything started to change. By the summer of 2016, their relationship had entered a more complicated phase. Meghan became increasingly focused on her career, and it was during a fateful trip to London that everything shifted. According to the biography by Tom Bowyer, Meghan was still with Corey when she went on a blind date with Prince Harry. In other words, she was still in a committed relationship with Corey when she met the man who would later become her husband. When she eventually returned to Toronto, it became clear that her relationship with Corey was over. Friends of Corey have said that he was shocked at how quickly Meghan ended their relationship in order to embrace her new life with Harry. Despite the abrupt end to their romance, Corey remains silent about the breakup, choosing instead to focus on his career as he manages successful restaurants in Toronto while keeping his personal life away from the public eye. Whereas Corey's quiet acceptance might command respect, Meghan's actions during these relationships have continued to fuel public debate. Turning now to another angle, let us consider the tension within the royal circle itself, the strained relationship between Meghan and Catherine Middleton. Many had hoped that Meghan and Catherine, who both faced the challenges of royal life, would develop a strong friendship. However, behind closed doors, things were far from harmonious. Reports of tension between them circulated for years, with many observers believing that their strained interactions contributed to the growing rift between Prince Harry and Prince William. One of the most widely discussed incidents involves the fitting of a bridesmaid's dress at Meghan's wedding, during which Catherine allegedly became tearful. Later, Meghan would claim that it was Catherine who made her cry, effectively turning the story on its head. Despite apologies and gifts from Catherine, it seemed that their relationship was too far damaged to be completely mended. Catherine, known for her reserved and cautious nature, reportedly never felt entirely at ease with Meghan, and it appears that this sentiment was mutual. As Meghan and Harry distanced themselves from the royal family, the chill between Catherine and Meghan became increasingly apparent, a situation that the public could not help but notice. Was it jealousy over Catherine's position as a future queen, or simply the inevitable collision of two very different women under immense pressure? The truth, like many aspects of Meghan's life, remains shrouded in complexity. As we continue to unravel these intricate relationships, it becomes clear that whether dealing with former partners, members of the royal family, or public figures, Meghan's personal connections have often been marked by tension and controversy. This consistent pattern only heightens public interest and scrutiny, with every move of hers being meticulously analyzed. Celebrities such as Wendy Williams, Aaron Foster, and even Donald Trump have voiced their criticisms. Each has offered their perspective, adding their voices to the growing chorus of detractors. For example, Wendy Williams famously declared that nobody should pity Meghan, arguing that Meghan knew very well what she was getting into when she married into a royal family. Meanwhile, Aaron Foster took a sarcastic stance, mocking Meghan's early career as a portfolio model in the show Deal or No Deal, suggesting that her rise to fame was more calculated than organic. And of course, Donald Trump has never hesitated to criticize Meghan, labeling her as repulsive and a disgrace to the royal family. Even figures such as Benny Frankel and Candace Owens have joined in, accusing Meghan of portraying herself as a victim and exploiting her royal platform for personal gain. Though some of these comments may seem harsh, they reflect the growing belief that Meghan is not the innocent victim she is often portrayed to be. There is no doubt that Meghan Markle's life has been anything but ordinary. Her journey from a Hollywood actress to the Duchess of Sussex has been fraught with both admiration and controversy. Whether you view her as a target of unrelenting media scrutiny or as someone who is strategically ascending the social ladder, the impact she has had on both the royal family and public opinion remains a matter of fierce debate. How do you assess the criticism directed at Meghan? Do you believe she has been treated unfairly, or are the attacks entirely justified? Share your thoughts and join the conversation.